for us 4 years ago, I believe, when we were talking initially, you know, just adding on here for the court and stuff like that. And what we were just discussing outside was we can get about 46, 47 feet before we hit the break room door. So, I mean, we can gain, you know, a 5 by 20 foot area anyway.
That's great.
That says 40 she gain.
We gain 5 to 7 feet on that, on the 40 foot.
Yeah.
And I think we can gain maybe a foot or two on the width, you know, really pushing it. So we're talking, and this is basically, according to those plans, you know, it's for the town clerk, the code enforcement officer, and the judge.
Good.
This would be his courtroom. This is where he'd hold court here.
Gotcha.
As well as still being the meeting room.
Be the meeting room, our town board, I mean, he handles court twice a month.
Yeah.
On a Thursday night. Now he comes in, but that's where, talking of having, you know, an office for him, an office for the judge, maybe a 10 by, there's Gary right there. Hi, Gary.
How you doing?
Oh, we're doing, here's a copy of the initial plans that Michael Riley did for us 4 years ago. And I actually found them. But, and what we're looking to do, we can get 47 feet of building lengthwise, which this got 40 foot out. And I think we can go maybe a foot or so wider, you know, of the building space. So you're talking almost 1,000 square feet. You know, quote 900 to 1,000 square feet.
And you only have to build 3 sides.
Build 3 sides, and what, this is my thinking. I mean, everybody's got it, this is just an information meeting, a discussion meeting, we've got to do something. And, you know, the town clerk, I measured Dawn's room she's got up there at the house, and it's something like 12 by 15, 12 by 20, I think is big. Mark's room is 10 by 10, it's not very big. The bathroom, of course, we've got handicap bathrooms. I mean, that's the greatest part, you know, we're handicap accessible, handicap bathrooms. We got electric, we got water, we got heat.
Quite a bit of parking.
Compared to, I would say, you know, enough parking, I would think. And it's something I think that we can, you know, really not have to borrow much money to build. If his numbers, his estimate was 99,000 or something like that. I'm not sure how he came up with that, but,
Did you read the lease, Jeff?
the lease, we have read it. Teddy Story called me, she found a copy of the stuff. They are responsible for it, and I gave the lease to our attorney. She called back, wanted to talk to me. I haven't taken time to call her, Gary.
Bottom line is, that lease, we're good for 40 years in it.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
I don't know why it was let to go to the condition it is in.
Because they don't have any money, and they're not gonna fix it up. That's just, if we're gonna do anything, we're gonna spend our money. If we're gonna spend money, I don't wanna spend money, waste our money up there. That's my feeling.
A year ago, they wanted to give us the building, but it had to go off their lot. Cost us more to move it than anything. That's what they said to us,
That
flat
John
out.
said.
You take this
Save
building, we
them the
will give it to
demolition
you. We
costs.
thought, oh, well, that's very considerate, we thought things we could do.
Well,
And they were like, but
and-
we want it off the lot, we don't want it here anymore.
Well, he called Dexheimer's, and Dexheimer said they wouldn't even touch it.
They wouldn't
Because of
touch it.
power lines and stuff, there's no way it could be moved. But John wants to tear it down.
Yeah, and that's why you let it go to the condition it's in. It's
I
terrible.
disagree, I agree.
But they don't have any money.
But
And we don't have
the
any
other side of
control
it,
over
Gary,
it.
2 years ago, John called me and said the parking lot's gotta be plowed, that's in the lease, which it is in the lease that we've gotta plow the parking lot. I said, call Mark and he'll plow it, whatever you need it plowed, he'll plow it for you. No, it's gotta be plowed every time, otherwise I'm gonna start eviction notice on you. When it's in there, they can, if you're not fulfilling your side of the
Well,
lease,
he's
then they're
not
not.
fulfilling his line.
That's right, so
We
they're,
might leave if you.
but you can get out of it, either party can get out of it in 90 days. So you think you're gonna force their hand put this money into it? We might have to do with it this year, and my thought on that is, get somebody in there, and there's 2 furnaces, Paul said in there. The one that,
2 boilers.
2 boilers. One that they've been using, which is a disaster, I understand, and the other one which was for the apartment. Which
And
has
I
been
don't
set.
know what kind of condition that's in.
I mean, I would be probably thinking the town could put some, and get that boiler going so it'll work for the year, for the winter.
You're gonna drop a dime, you know how much asbestos is down in that basement?
You know, that's theirs, not mine.
So's the boiler.
All that's theirs.
It's loaded with asbestos.
I don't doubt
You shouldn't
it.
even be using that.
So we should be putting more money into it?
No, they could, he
They-
should have taken it out, you know, I mean.
Should,
for
would,
EPA.
will.
The thing of it is, if Walter was still alive, none of us would be worried about any of this.
That's right.
And when Walter died, sadly enough, Karen milked the whole account empty. That was that was supposed to be there to take care of everything there. That is what it is, if we can't bring Walter back and that's the end of it, we've basically worked along best we could. Can't twist them too much, because where are they gonna make money on the museum? And I guarantee you Karen's kind heart isn't gonna give a donation, so.
Right.
I think we're further ahead to get a building of our own, if we're gonna invest money, that's my opinion, than invest into something that we're just patching and buying time on.
Oh, it is his responsibility to fix that boil burn, it's bottom line, that's what it says.
That's what it
I
says.
don't care whether he
I
has
agree.
the money or not, he better find it,
I agree.
and we're gonna have to do something. How long is this project gonna take?
It'd probably be next year, I'm hoping we can get it done.
So the way it usually works, Gary, is John gets somebody from the town to call the repairman, so that the repairman sends us the bill. And then I inform John it's not our building, that it's his bill. So don't call the repairman, make John call the repairman.
Well, he came in and was complaining about the fact that the oil burner was gone, it's not gonna make it this year. He says you better do something, when are you gonna put up your new building? That was only 2 weeks ago. It's a shame, it's a great location, and a lot could be done with the
This
building.
is no worse location than up there.
It's a lot more convenient for the townspeople.
Well, Jesus Christ, there's a pool that they think has gotta be behind the goddamn school. It's a town pool. Why the hell isn't it out on 357? 'Cause it's convenient for the village. Well, sorry. This is as convenient as you can get for the town. This is a town court, it's a town building, town justice. It should be probably town facility.
And people in the village probably don't get tickets for walking too fast.
Well, I mean, there's probably, most of them drive to the court, if they're summoned, there's drive to the court anyway. Not all of them, I'm sure.
Well, I'm gonna have to look into something else too, because I know I was advised that there are certain requirements by the state as to what has to be done in a courtroom, and how it has to be, you know, designed.
This
As
room
far
is
as what?
more than adequate for the court.
There's all kinds of requirements.
That's if
Well-
you're building a new courtroom, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna build a new courtroom.
What
We're
if
not
we're not
building a
building
new
a new
courtroom.
one?
This is a courtroom right here.
Well, it has to have certain, there are specifications, and I'll find them out, I won't.
Yeah. And
Okay.
make sure to find out if they're mandated or highly recommended.
And it's not state money.
Because
This is
that
our
was
taxpayers'
a
money doing it, too.
Big differentiating fact, they tried pressing hands on the Office Court Administration, let me know that they technically cannot force you as long as the following conditions are met for a courthouse.
Well,
I'll find
Hamden-
it.
That's why I say, just ask them flat out, like, not the Office Court Administration,
Hamden's court
and
is
say, are
held at the
these
Hamden Town
expected or are they
Hall, which is-
mandated? Because there's a difference there. There's certain very basic things that are mandated. Then there's other things that they highly recommend, or they would like to see, or because of the appearance or whatever else, or different things that they request and ask for. But they'll tell you when you go to those, at least they did us at those judicial meetings, oh,
Well, things
you
have
go to
changed,
your
right?
town board, you have to have this. Well, the Office Court Administration let me know, well, it's not really mandated, so.
Okay, I'll check on it.
But that's, yeah, I would lean, they give you a list of whatever, I'd lean back to them and find out, what of them are actually mandated? you know.
Well, there's other things too, there's a lot of JCAP money that's available, you know, quite a few $1,000s, probably another $89,000 there.
Do they give you a notice on that every year, Gary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can apply for it, but I haven't applied for anything, I just looked it
Yeah.
up. But
When's the due date, do you know?
they keep throwing stuff on the computer, I'll have to find that
Yeah,
out too.
if you do, find out and just see
Yeah,
and see if there is. I know there used to be special money for if you were doing a renovation or something major,
yeah,
because it would apply you for more, you
yeah, it's
know?
quite a bit of money though.
Right,
Yeah.
so, yeah, that would all be helpful if we could
Sure.
find out, you know?
But the good news, in anything you do out there, all you need is wiring, and of course heating and ventilation. You don't have to do any water, because
No, we
you've
got
already got
water.
that facilities here.
I mean, those facilities, you know, there's no septic, no, I mean, you're talking,
Yeah. But 1,000 square feet, I mean, it's even a basic building, you know, $100 a square foot, he's probably not too far off.
right.
Probably it's gonna be 100 to 130.
And we've got, right now, we've got over 80, right, Paul, in the,
Over 100.
over 100 now in the building fund. So I'm looking at something, hopefully that won't cost taxpayers for years to come.
102,374.
Because this, I mean, Hampton's got the same type of building they have for their meeting room as their courtroom.
Well, that's an abortion too, and the conditions he's working on.
Well,
Have you seen
I'm not
it?
sure.
Did you?
I've
it's
seen the
terrible.
town hall and I don't see, I mean, we're not in New York City. We're not, I mean, I've seen Masonville's and that is beautiful. But they built that themselves and they got everything free from anybody that would get it from them, which is great. You know, but we're behind the 8 ball. We've spun our wheels long enough, we've gotta do something.
Have you approached Spataforno on any advice? Because he knows, he built that thing.
He built that thing. He said, yep, he spent, I don't know how many hours himself and one or two of the guys actually built that.
Yeah.
But I think he said he spent $250,000 to $280,000 on it. And they did the work, so, I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me, it is. I mean, I don't know where, if they did all the work, I don't know where the money, but that's, I mean, when I was talking to our attorney, she said, you're talking between $400,000 and $500,000 for a new, you know, for an office building, for the town. I said, you gotta be out of your tree. I'm sorry, we're debt free, I don't wanna see the town going in, and where can you put it? This is I think there's not a better place than at the town facility, you know, for town business, I'm sorry.
When you go and add that much space, things change the dynamics of this totally, you know?
Yeah, well,
It'll wind up feeling more roomy than what you realize, I think, you know?
well, this would be a vast improvement what you got, Gary. I mean,
for sure.
what you got is what, 12,
Well,
like
what are
19?
we talking about now, at least for this present year?
This present year, I guess we're gonna try to get the heat working up there, so we can get through the winter, cause I don't see you coming down here, we don't have any offices for you, nothing, so we really can't say we're moving out right now.
Yeah, because we gotta move them computers again, and that, we just finished with a nightmare.
No, and I agree, no, it's gonna be probably a year away, but if we don't start something, get something moving, it'll be 2 years away, then it'll be 3 years away. And this is, I mean, this plan isn't anything, the square footage is where, you know, this plan sets with. You know, what I'd like to see, the first 20 feet would be town clerk with access outside and code enforcement officer with access outside. And then a filing room or something for some files. And then there'd be like 27 by 20 area for your office and a small conference room for the DA or whatever.
Yeah, we need something.
And then Jan, having a room for Jan, and then, you know, room
Well,
for
If we can
files.
keep Jan really should be next to me in the courtroom. you know,
Well,
where
what,
we can
what
work
we were
some-
just talking of is possibly, you know, having a bench set up here, so it'll be dual purpose. It'll be for you
It
and
would be
Jan and
really
stuff.
handy to have that, where you have the clerk right there, so I can handle whatever I gotta do, and she can, because right now it's really,
Well, to say everything, realistically, the computers and stuff will still be in the other room, in the other rooms.
no, I'm gonna need them in front of me. I use them a lot, Jeff.
Well, your room will be right off then. Because, I mean, otherwise, we cannot secure this room for just the judge. This is a town meeting room,
What's that?
and it's used for other
Wi-Fi.
facilities, you know,
Just take a
elections.
laptop,
Do you have
take it right
laptops
out, and you run it on a
here?
laptop.
Or desktop?
The only laptop we have is the recorder, and that's all I use it for is recorder.
You get another laptop and hook it into the system. It's not complicated.
Yeah, you'd probably do that.
It might even have one available.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you just walk in with it, you do what you want, and you're talking to the one in the next room or outside or wherever you need to go and use it.
Yeah.
But if it's gotta be, you know,
In front of you, you gotta have something that's mobile that you can put back in your
Right.
office, that's what my concern
Right.
is.
Yeah, well, I'd like to lock everything up. I mean,
Well, that's what.
Well, that's what'll
in
be
your-
nice
In your
with-
office,
that's
An
what we
office
do.
like that,
you
you'll
have
be
an office that you
secure.
can lock up. This meeting room is open to the public.
Yeah.
But that way you're, like, you can take your laptop in, all of your important stuff, Gary, you'll have locked in your room, all set for your room. That way nobody can walk through there, you know what I'm saying?
Your room is your room.
Yeah,
Well, right now, the room you got is like an 8x8 that you can do that with, the rest of it's accessible to anyone that comes into the town clerk, really, you know?
well, I did, especially had a guy come down at my expense and put a lock on the door, so that I could lock that door.
Oh, so you
Then
locked
turn-
that front office?
I like that French door thing, but turns out that the thermostat happens to be in my room, so I have to leave it open for when
Right,
Dawn is in
so,
As far as the heat goes, you don't have to fix the boiler if John refuses. You could use electric heater or whatever, and if he's willing to take the chance of freezing the
Freezing the
pipes, that's
pipes.
his business, it's
Yeah.
his house.
Yeah. Right, that'd be the other
You could
choice.
use
is I
space, you know,
think
some kind
space
of,
heaters.
yeah.
But if he lets them freeze, it's like water in the basement that time.
there.
Gallons
Don't
and
go there,
gallons
You
right?
might not be able to use the building for February and March.
Right.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
to-
that's a high.
that was another thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather see the furnace,
Yeah.
get something in there to work.
Yeah, it's gotta keep
I
those
mean,
pipes.
we gotta keep the pipes.
well, one thing clear cut about it, it surely wouldn't be our fault for it breaking, because we know that the furnace wasn't working, so it clearly was theirs.
Yeah, I mean, the toilet, for
And we're not
instance.
gonna pay the water bill if the pipe breaks either.
Right.
Did you see your water bill when I first took over?
Yeah, I see the bills, Gary.
Yeah, but they were pumping hot water into the toilet.
Toilet, yeah, so it didn't condensate.
All right.
That was minor compared to when the pipe broke.
Yeah, that was my,
Gallons and
I
gallons
tried to
and
repair the
gallons.
flapper and the handle broke and it flooded.
The pipes froze to it over underneath. But
Yeah.
this is just a communication time to put concerns in, you know, if something we can do, then we gotta go further with it. I mean, I think it's, you know, if,
We ought to get some current quotes, get an idea what this might really cost. 4 years ago,
Anyway,
was a lot of time.
I've got something going tonight.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
here, so,
okay,
Uh,
okay.
I'll
You
think
got
of
that? Yep, yeah, do some scribbling on
Okay.
room sizes and stuff
Hey,
like
Gary,
that.
here, let me give you my
Hey,
number, here,
Yeah,
let me give you my number, so that way you can let me know how much you think we can get from PCAP or from, the court administration.
yeah.
8951. It's terrible. I don't know what Dwight's cell phone.
Let me know when the deadline
I don't know
is.
what it is. What
Yeah,
number is that?
We can work together and get something out of them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think Franklin takes much from them.
No, we don't take anything from us, it's a shame. Okay.
Thanks for your time, Gary.
All right,
Thank you,
take
Gary.
care, everybody.
See you, Gary.
It's just, you know, we want input from, you know, people too. I mean, I think it's a very viable,
Can I throw out one more,
Yep.
just a casual thought? This has had done a lot behind it, just occurred to me, but is there any option of putting an alleyway down through here to have office and to be able to, over there, make this room just a little bit bigger, like for elections? That's the other criteria that people keep screaming about. So just think about, you know, is there any way that you could put two of the offices
Right,
in here, the clerk
right,
and the whatever,
right, right.
maybe, and use some of that for a
Well,
bigger
problem,
space?
problem with that is, this room here
Yeah.
is over 600 square feet
Uh-huh.
right now. You take one that's 21 feet wide, you're gonna use up
Yeah.
the whole bill. If we had more room to go, that might be,
Okay.
that'd be an idea.
Because,
And we talked about that outside too. I said,
yeah,
the other thought is the fire department for the elections.
it's too bad they had to throw all 3 districts in here.
Oh, that
It wasn't half bad when Treadwell had to know.
wasn't, hey, I agree 100%.
We
Treadwell
throw
was
these
nice.
Treadwell out of here, it'd be all right.
Well, I think, Treadwell should have their own, that's all there is to that. But that's,
Pretty soon you won't even have to come in to vote, you'll be able to do it from home. I mean, it's electronic.
that's, but.
Who knows who the verifier
We
is?
can-
Nobody asked
one-
me for
one
my
thing-
identification
one thing we
here,
can
they
do
do it
is
in
we can-
school.
Take that pellet stove out of here, that'd make it more, and if we have some offices for, or a file room, we might be able to put some filing cabinets out here.
What are those cabinets there?
Files.
One's, the planning, or maybe a couple of them are planning, I'm not sure what they are,
Yeah, that
how
was
to,
a little bit of space, because then you put the machine farther back.
I mean, get
Well, you
the,
have to think on it.
the pellet stove, that doesn't get used anymore,
I'll
it's just
take
sitting
that
there.
up there and they can use it this winter.
There, Gary, you got heat.
We'll have to put a hop on it.
Yeah.
Feed it,
Well, won't have to feed it every 10 hours,
put the hop on it.
but that's,
So what you have to do with that, you have to put it out to bid or something to get rid of it, or you have to use, can you use it anywhere?
I don't,
We could use it, the town could use it anywhere, but if you're gonna sell it, you have to put it in a bid.
I mean, that, just to move it would be, space.
That doesn't do wood pellets, so does it?
Yeah.
Just-
it does wood
Yeah,
pellets.
it
does
They
a
don't
lot
do the
better
grass
than
pellets,
those
what they
grass.
They
should.
didn't do grass pellets, well, smoked the whole place out.
Nothing really did the grass pellets good, but that's beside the point. I mean, that's just sitting there, and it's been sitting there for how many years?
Or at least 6 or 8.
It's been a long time. So, I mean, that could open it up a little bit too. I mean, not a lot, but any little bit will help. But I think, we've, it's something my feeling is, it's very viable and it can be done
Within
fairly
our
fast
means.
and within our means.
We've got quite a few 3 feet wide and all the way over and over, if you can clear that out, it's quite good.
That could be,
It adds a lot to the
yeah,
room.
it does, it does.
You can put desktop computers on Wi-Fi. It doesn't have to be a laptop.
Then you gotta carry it in and out all the time.
You know, a little part.
That's why I wanted a laptop.
Oh, okay.
Hey, get something like these, I mean, they're
Right.
cheap,
But,
and
I
you
mean,
walk
it-
around
you know,
whatever you want.
Yeah.
But this is what this is about. We had these plans 4 years ago, Mike O'Reilly worked them up for us, but I think we can get more footage out of it. If we can get another 5 by 20, that's 100 square feet of added space you're getting, or 140 more square feet of added space.
Does it have to be a simple rectangle? Can you make it an L and just put a little more on the front?
On the front,
Not really, with the ditch and the buried sluice pipes. There's utilities buried.
hopefully they're behind where we're talking. But that's just food for thought, that we've gotta step forward on something here, we gotta start. Gary's gonna fight it the whole 9 yards, I'm sure, but we're gonna give him a lot more courtroom, and he's gonna have more, at least as much more, or more room for his chambers, I guess, that's the word I was for, his judge chambers. Then we'll have a conference room, and then,
Which I think right now, the way Gary's seeing it is like this, but I think, if I get a chance, maybe we can talk, but I think that chambers will make, because after you're done seeing people, as big as that is, like right now, he's used to doing everything out where everyone sees him.
right,
As big as that room is, he'll go in that room with Jan and do everything there, you'll have everything right there, you have your file cabinets, you only need this when you're seeing the people, and
2 days.
and I think he'll be quite happy with it, to be honest with you, because it'll be like
It'll
a
give him
work, it'll be
privacy.
like a work area for him,
yeah, privacy of it too.
And that's the big thing, I mean, he'll lock the door, his sealed, he's,
Right. But that's what this whole fiasco is about,
so,
and I'm hoping that,
I may be wrong, but I think he'll like it once it gets
Right.
established, and
Sees the layout.
But it's certainly a viable option compared to finding a site, putting in septic, putting in water, putting in driveway, putting in park, I mean, you spend all this on a parking lot.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, we've got the parking lot, and we're all handicap accessible already. That's a great part. You know, and, some of the rooms will have to be locked, there's no doubt, but that's not a big issue either, I wouldn't think, for the good of the town. And if this wire does get changed around and buried, we'll have all the power will be this high off the ground,
Just the pedestal.
not a pole. So you could extend the roof out for, over top the electrical service anyway.
You could probably get Delhi Telephone to set up all the computers too, on the network.
But, well, is there any more, I mean,
That's great.
think about it, if you get some brainstorming, just, let us, we'll have a meeting next Tuesday. And we can,
Treadwell, right?
Treadwell. We can talk about it more. And just, I wanted to get it started at least. And we've gotta go forward, cause all we've been doing is spinning our wheels and, if something comes up, well, then it, dissipates and it's just, we gotta get out of that damn house, I'm sorry.
It's horrible.
That's not good, and it's our fault. Everybody blames the town because we're not taking care of it. Well, it's not ours,
Not your
I'm
fault.
sorry.
It just amazes me, I even asked John about it one time when we were walking across the parking lot to go to the Rich house for a meeting.
Right.
I said, John, why don't you guys, at least somebody, get those damn mattresses and shit out of that back room? Everybody drives into your museum, and that's what they see. They empty out the apartments and stuffed it in that
Right.
porch that's falling off. He's, well, we've talked about it.
Not high on their agenda, but, that's their agenda, I don't, yes, Pete?
That's a big fire hazard.
Well, I would think so. So the
That's
point
what
was
actually
made,
waiting to happen.
could we have this addition firewall, double the sheetrock and stuff, just for added protection against
You've got-
fire.
Now, this is not a living space, it's just a meeting space. You don't have to have a double firewall right now, and you do it from the shop, or is it?
We already do,
Is it?
yes.
Okay.
That makes sense?
But it wouldn't be
Yes,
bad to,
between the
for that
office
little bit
and
of
the
expense.
bathrooms and the shop, that's all firewall.
Good.
We actually have two firewalls, that one, there's 2 bays, and then there's another firewall, and then there's 3 more bays. So I don't know what spec this is, but
Right.
it wouldn't take much to double sheetrock.
Double sheetrock on
Yeah.
the other side, take tin off and put sheetrock on. But, just as another safety factor.
But it gives you more control if there ever is an event.
Right,
You'd have to change that door, because that's not
Not
a fire
handicap.
door.
Oh,
Well, it's not a fire door.
this is all stuff, I think, funding wise, it's something we can live with, I think, without breaking the bank. And I think the town clerk and the code enforcement officer, they didn't seem to have any problem, so.
And you probably will see some savings in utilities and stuff. With the new construction, you should, and better lighting, because you'll have better lighting in there.
Right, yes, Pete?
Maybe you can get him a good safe, put all his documents in there so they're safe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's got there, Pete, I know
For
he's
some
got some.
places they do that, they put
Right, well, that would be another maybe that's where the grants can come in and get some good
For almost
fireproof safes.
They recommend a certain standard of file cabinet, at least when I was there,
Right, right.
and
You didn't see the
they
file
were
cabinet.
totally happy if you had that for your securing your records.
Well, Gary got 3 file cabinets. Dwight and I put them together in a couple days. And the wasted space is amazing because the boxes, the filing cabinets aren't meant for,
Tight.
2.5